I never really was asked like for the Jewish people or the Christian people when they are 13 or 14, they choose to become Jews, or they get baptized as young people in Christianity if they want to. But in Islam, it's by birth, and you cannot leave the religion. There is a man today who's in Iran who's about to be executed for leaving Islam. That's not just in Iran, by the way. That's all over the Middle East, even in Turkey. People get killed on the street if they say, I left Islam. It doesn't matter. Guess why? Because there is a law in Sharia that states that executing apostates is not a job only of the government. It's every Muslim can kill an apostate and will be forgiven. The law states that a murderer of an apostate will be forgiven. So if you leave Islam in the Muslim world, you're not just scared of the police to come arrest you and put you in jail and take you. No, you will be killed by your own father and mother. If not your own father and mother, it could be the neighbor, it could be your teacher, it could be your best friend who just heard that you left Islam.
Oh my gosh.
I just rescued a man. I'm trying to rescue a lot of people who left Islam in the Middle East, and I can't. I can't do things alone like that. I'm communicating with them constantly, and I rescued one person from Morocco. He's here in America. He is the kind of immigrant you'd be proud of. He loves this country. The minute he landed, he kissed the ground. And he is now in Bible school. He's speaking about the virtues of being an American. And he is just the kind of immigrant you would love to have as a citizen. I will bring him soon to speak with me in June or July of this year. His name is Ishmael. He was stabbed in the stomach and left for dead because somebody at work knew he left Islam. And he was in the hospital for a month and a half. And he came and we met him in New York. And we just helped him in every way we can. And thank God he's independent now, and he's a happy citizen and grateful, very grateful. And I remember the day when I moved to America. My first job in America. I was walking in the hall as a new citizen. That was 30 years ago. As a new citizen of this country, I was reading everything. See, I wanted to learn about the country so fast that even in the hallway of my new job, there was a sign, and I was reading every sign. and that sign said, this institution does not discriminate against in hiring on the basis of gender, race, national origin, or religion. And I was like, what? It just hit me. I was in awe of that law, because I come from a country where the law, depending on who you are, the law protects you. If you're a woman, you have different laws from men. If you're a Christian and live in the Middle East, you have different laws to apply to you. If you're a Buddhist or a Hindu, you have a lower level than even Christians and Jews. And it took me out, even though I knew that American Constitution, what it says, but I was in awe. I was just so relieved. And it takes a long time even to feel equal. You don't feel equal right away to men, because I came from that background. And I'm just grateful to America, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so I was born around the 52 revolution in Egypt. I was a baby at that time, and that was another revolution in Tahrir Square. See, The same things happen over and over again. And the West thinks this revolution is something that's so unique. No, it's not unique. Gamal Abdel Nasser, who did this coup against, actually it was a constitutional monarchy. It was a secular constitutional monarchy, Egypt. And King Farouk there was a coup d'etat against him. He was ousted. And Gamal Abdel Nasser said, freedom, democracy, the same thing we have today. He went to Tahrir Square. At that time it was called Ismailia Square. And he changed the name of the square to Tahrir Square. What does Tahrir mean? It means freedom, Freedom Square, Liberation Square. And that just tells us how the dynamics of that country. He changed the flag of Egypt. He changed the name of Egypt. It's no longer Egypt. He changed the name to the United Arab Republic. We were ashamed of our ancient Egyptian history because we're now Muslim. See, when Napoleon came to Egypt, the pyramids were half buried in sand, and the Sphinx was only the head up. The Arabs, when they conquered Egypt, shamed Egypt from its ancient Egyptian great history and said the pyramids are the tombs of the infidels. So Egyptians were not allowed to maintain their great civilization. Only when the French and the British came and all these foreign Egyptologists that made us aware of our great civilization. Many of the temples were buried in sand. The Karnak temple in Upper Egypt was we saw only the top part. So this great civilization was buried in sand. And then what happened is, after Nasser took power, Egypt went through one of the darkest periods in modern history. A long period of war, socialism, confiscating property. He confiscated my mom's building. Poverty and illiteracy arose in Egypt. And Egypt was economically destroyed. From 1952 until last year, 2011, Egypt had 3 presidents: Gamal Abdel Nasser, Anwar Sadat, and Mubarak. 3 dictators. This was the freedom and democracy that he mentioned. The period of the king of Egypt before that was a much more sophisticated political system. We had parties, it was secular, and why? Let's thank for it the British. Why did the Jews at that time and the Christians in Egypt had equal rights? It wasn't because Saudi Arabia was tired of oppressing them. It wasn't because Sharia was proven wrong and oppressive and immoral in the Muslim world. It was because the Muslim world weakened, and the British and the French brought us more secular laws. When the British were kicked out from the whole Middle East, that's when Israel was created, and the Arab, the Arab movement and Islamism started. And what mobilized it was the oil money. Because of that, that was the fuel that fueled Islamism. And thank God I left before it got too bad. I was glad I no longer lived under this cycle of dictatorships and revolutions and police states. I was living in a police state. And Muslim leaders came to power, always came to power, whether it's Egypt or Libya or Iraq or Syria or all of these